Now to another top Democrat facing fresh scrutiny. A resurfaced clip from the 1990s shows Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer backing ID checks to crack down on welfare fraud. Fast forward to today, and he's fighting voter ID requirements in federal elections. Take a look at then Congressman Schumer.
Let's admit the truth. Everywhere people go, they're asked for a Social Security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card.
All right, let's bring in Missouri Republican Senator Eric Schmidt. It's amazing the way people evolve over time. You're for ID for one thing, to cut down on fraud, waste, and abuse in the welfare system. But now when it comes to voting, you're against it. I mean, how do you make that change?
Well, I think Chuck Schumer, in this specific instance, his journey on this is kind of indicative of the Democrat Party, which once was sort of a mainstream political party and now has reached a level of absurdity and really honestly at war with common sense. If you poll this issue, it's 80 plus, there aren't many issues that are like that, including among Democrats. 70 plus percent of Democrats believe you should actually have to show a photo ID to vote. It's about basic election security. But I think it is interesting, John, that two issues are converging at the same time. We're talking about it in the news. Illegal immigration and voter ID, right? The reality is the Democrats have kind of lost the case. They've lost the argument with the American people. Their only game left now is to open up the border to 15 and 20 million people and hope that they can somehow allow people to vote who shouldn't vote. That's the truth. And so the people that are being disenfranchised from that aren't the illegal immigrants and not people who can't prove who they are, but actually American citizens. They're the ones being disenfranchised by this scheme. And so I think it's very important for us to take this issue seriously, move forward with the Save America Act. But Chuck Schumer, I mean, is being exposed, again, for a position that was very mainstream and still is mainstream, but the party's moved so far to the left, it looks totally ridiculous.
All right, well, just to remind folks at home what he says about the SAVE Act, listen to him here.
The SAVE Act is nothing more than Jim Crow 2.0. If the SAVE Act were to become law, online registration, registration by mail, and registration drives would become a thing of the past. This is just an outrageous piece of legislation. It's turning the clock back 100 years.
You know, buried inside there probably is one of the real reasons why the Democrats don't want this, when he says online registration, registration by mail, and registration drives would become a thing of the past. Those are things that the Democrats are very, very good at. And if you throw a voter ID requirement in there, they're afraid they're not going to be able to do it to the degree that they have. But there's a lot of ways to prove who you are, whether you're just becoming a citizen or you're just becoming a new voter, and you've got to show citizenship in order to become a registered voter, or you've got to show voter ID in order to vote. We've got electronic technology. You can do that.
Absolutely. And think about it. You have to show a photo ID or driver's license to check into a hotel room. Right? Again, this is common sense. There's two things I think that are striking from that. One is everything that the Democrats don't like now, they call racist or Jim Crow or something like that. I think they've again, that jumped the shark on that argument. But then secondly, yes, there wasn't that long ago, John, there was something called the Carter-Baker Commission. Jimmy Carter, James Baker, bipartisan, said, here are the 10 things you can do to keep our elections secure. One of them was to prevent mass mail-in balloting, where you have these drop boxes like we saw in 2020. So these simple security measures that make it safe, increase people's respect and confidence in our elections are all very important things to do. But again, the Democrats are obsessed with kind of catering to the radical left, and they're willing to throw our elections in the trash bin with it.
You know, the one Democrat that seems to really have a reasonable grasp on reality is John Fetterman. Here's what he said about voter ID.
Showing basic ID to vote is a very reasonable idea, and I think 84% of Americans in the last polling from Pew supports that. And Wisconsin, a very, very purple state, just less than a year ago, they put that in their constitution, and that was passed nearly by 2 to 1.
You know, as you pointed out, this is at the very least an 80-20 issue. Even among black voters, it's a 75-76 to 25-24 issue. Hispanics, it's 80-20. So I'm not quite sure which side of this issue Democrats really believe they should be on.
Again, it's about power for them. I applaud my colleague, Senator Fetterman, for taking that position. Sadly, that is he's an outlier.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that by the polling, but among the Democrat colleagues I have in the Senate, that is an outlier position, which again is insane. I mean, this is something that makes sense, that really can unite the country. But again, I think the Democrats, everything, the sort of electrical cord for everything at this point is, what does it do to aggrandize our power? It's the same reason why they want open borders. It's the same reason why they want to stop deportations. It's the same reason they don't want people to have to show who they are to vote. It's all about electoral politics and power, and again, anti-common sense.
Senator, it's always good to catch up with you. Thank you for taking the time. We look forward to you folks coming back and opening the government back up again.
Me too. That's right.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.